Welcome back, everybody. This is Herbie with my Nomadic Dream, and I am back in Quartzsite. I tend to come to this spot that I found near Dome Rock. It's on the other side of I-10, and it's been a place where I would come and just sit and think, because it's away from everybody, it's quiet, there's solitude, and it makes me feel as if I'm the only one around. And that helps a lot sometimes. It really, really does. Being a nomad, you know, there's challenges, mentally challenging, you know, life challenges and other stuff like that. And it's always important to find a place where you can just sit and think, just with quietness, no distractions. You don't have to worry about somebody looking at you while you think and interrupting you and all of that stuff. So this is the place that I come. I've came here probably at least 4 times now, just to think and reflect. And that's what I'm doing today. There is one thing that I do have to say, and that is I am happy for the life that I chose. I'm glad that I decided to do this lifestyle, this journey that I'm on, because it's more fulfilling than the 9-to-5 grind, the American dream, because that is, I don't want to say it's a load of crap, because it's not for everybody, but for some it is. I've always been one that just wants to enjoy life to the fullest. I fear death, and I want to make sure that I'm doing the stuff that I like doing the most often. So that's why I'm on this journey, is to enjoy my life. And whatever happens on this journey is part of the adventure. And the thing about this lifestyle is the journey that you are on. The ups and downs, no matter what they have been, they could be all good, they can be all bad, or they can be a mixture of ups and downs. It doesn't always have to be a negative thing for it to be a down. It could just be a plan that did not follow through, and you had to take the time and figure out your next plan. That's the beauty of this life and this journey, is the freedom that you get from doing it, because you are living for yourself. You are not living for somebody else that tells you when and if you can enjoy your life. And that's the most important thing about this journey, is getting back to basics, relying on yourself to fulfill your life, and not having to jump through hoops in order to get that out of your life. It's beautiful. But no matter what those ups and downs are, and no matter what they will be, they will all be part of your journey. Like, the ups and downs are ones that you will have to live with, learn from them, and be willing to face them when they happen. The most important thing about life is learning from your past and not forgetting it. Because as for myself, I have lived many lives. I have shed many layers, and I would not recognize myself 20 years ago. And if I saw myself back then today, I would not recognize myself today either. I am not the same person that I used to be. I don't think the same way. I don't live the same way. All of my habits are different, but I am still who I am. And I think when you finally get on a journey to where you can reflect on yourself, it's so wonderful. And I'm sorry if you have not reflected on yourself and realized that you are in the same place that you have been since you got out of high school. I know a lot of people that are still in the same routine, doing the same thing that their parents did, stuck in the same trailer park, going to the same convenience store to get packs of smokes or beer, or going to the same bar, and they just hating their life when there's so much more to offer. So I'm glad that I wised up in my decisions and got to a point where I could do this, where I can live my life the way that I see is perfect. Now, I'm not shedding any judgment on anybody's lives. Some people prefer the simple life of doing the same thing every day for the rest of their lives. People find comfort in going to the same job for 35, 40 years, living in the same place, having the same neighbors, having the same mailbox. That has never been me. I've only lived in one place. The longest was 6 years, maybe 7, and that was in school. As an adult, I think the longest time period was 4 years, and I really felt myself getting into a rut. Just repeating the same day over and over, waking up at 5 a.m., going to work at 7, getting off at 4, coming home, eating dinner, maybe watching TV, doing some hobbies, and then go to bed, wake up, and rinse, wash, and repeat over and over for 4 years. It was fine at first, don't get me wrong. I knew exactly when I could do this or do that. It was great, but I still had to ask permission to live my life, and I never liked that. I've always been one, this is a notification that I'm not going to be here. Now, I understand some people may like, well, that's how the world works, but I'm a planner, so when I put in time off for work, it's at least 8 months in advance. And if you can't accommodate that, then like, why am I here? And I think everybody should have that same mindset, is you're not asking permission to live your life. That's your decision. That's not somebody else's. Life is too short to do that. For example, my brother, he worked overtime all the time. He was always working, so we never really got a chance to actually hang out with him outside of work, because he was just always working, or he was sleeping. And I don't want to do that same thing. You know, my parents were alcoholics, and they did a bunch of drugs, and that was their life that they chose, but they both died early. My dad was 45, my mom was 53. And I'm 38, and I'm going to be 39 this year. So my mission in life is to enjoy it. That's as simple as it is. It doesn't matter what I'm doing as long as I am enjoying it. And that's what my journey is. Because after all, that's life, and that's the journey. But I am back in Quartzsite. It feels wonderful. I'm in shorts and flip-flops again. Michigan was a wonderful trip, but I found myself around halfway point looking at flights to come back home. Because home is not necessarily where you came from or family. Home is where you feel the most full, the happiest, the most enjoyment. That's where home is. And for me, that's wherever my camper is. That's wherever my heart calls home. I don't call Michigan home. Now, with that being said, there are some nice things about Michigan. It's just none of them really appeal to me. The big lakes was always cool to go visit and stuff like that, and I dreamed of having a house on one of the big lakes. I was like, that would be awesome. But that was materialistic, as in, oh, that would be cool to show off type of thing. And I don't want my journey to be like that. I want my journey to be more fulfilling to myself and the ones that I love, not to show off to somebody else. And just over the years, it just kept piling and piling up until I finally, sparked that idea of You should actually do this. You should actually get on the road and experience life. But I am a nomad. I travel full time, but I've literally traveled from Michigan to Arizona. I don't know what the future holds in me or for me. I do plan on traveling. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be traveling as often as I imagined, because as a nomad, your days change constantly. Your plans fluctuate. I have learned to be more fluid with my plans. Like, I have a huge end planned, or an end goal, but it's all the in-betweens that's life changes. You know, you may meet somebody on the road and your original plans kind of fluctuate a little bit to accommodate them. And that's perfectly okay. That's part of the journey, is not being so set in your ways that it harms you in the long run. I've said that before, and it's as true today as it was when I said it before. So I might be going to Utah still. I might be staying in Arizona for this year. I don't know. And that's equally scary and enjoyable at the same time. Because it's a journey. Because at the end of the day, I'm still a nomad. I can still pick up and go wherever I want. And that's the freedom that I love. You know, if I decide to get a 9-to-5 job driving some truck or box truck for 8 months to make a crap ton of money working overtime, I can. That doesn't mean that I'm not a nomad. Because there's obviously different levels of nomads, just like there's different levels of Amish. That's for another discussion, but there isn't just Amish and Mennonites. There's a lot more. But yeah, it's whatever makes me happy, and that's what matters most, is me being happy. Because who knows, maybe that's the plan that's put in place for me from a higher power. So I just got to remember to be open-minded about it and take time to actually sit down in a beautiful spot like this and just reflect and think about the future, the present, and the past. Yeah. It smells good here. I really did miss the desert, I tell you what. Oh, Michigan's very confined. There's a lot of people in a small area, and there's trees everywhere, so you constantly feel that the pressure on you. But being in the desert or being in an open area of landscape, it actually allows you to feel free and open, because you can see forever. Like, you guys can see as far as the camera will allow you on this video, and that's amazing. That just, there's nothing else like it. But I think I'm kind of getting off topic a little bit, but you can't plan your whole life and it work out perfectly. You had to be open to new things, new experiences, and new happenings. Because the life of a nomad, it changes constantly. Constantly. I've had multiple job offers in multiple different states, and it is overwhelming, because you get to a point where you're like, crap, I hope I picked the right choice. I hope I picked the right place. And it's nothing that I had to deal with prior. It wasn't. It was find a job and you just do it. And I think that's even though that's overwhelming, it's still very appealing, because the whole world is my option, not just a town that my house is in. And that feels so good to say. Oh, but yeah, life is a journey. Make the best of it. Enjoy every moment of it. If it's crappy, learn from it and continue on with your journey. So I think that's it for this video. And yeah, just enjoy your life no matter what it is, because it could always be worse. But with that, follow the journey wherever it takes you and enjoy your life. All right, guys, later. Bye.